So we're gonna come into a comfortable seat. Go ahead and cross the legs in front of you or sit in hero's pose, that's absolutely fine. And as you're coming into a comfortable seat, make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward and back, a little cat and cow here in your seat, so that you can stretch out through your pelvis. Excellent. So as you're the back bending, you're pressing your chest forward and you're tilting your tailbone back. And then as you're rounding the spine, you're stretching out the entire back of the spine and you're rounding, hugging the belly in. You're going to do that a couple times with your breath. Excellent. As you're finishing up with those movements, then just begin to roll the shoulders all the way up and back, and then all the way up and forward, and then shift the head from side to side. You're going to feel a few cracks at the base of the neck here, and that's just releasing tightness, releasing pressure. And then eventually we're going to take the hands behind our backs, interlace the fingers, and press your knuckles down the back towards the floor so that you're pressing your shoulders down. You don't want your shoulders up like this. Press the knuckles down so your shoulders draw down. You're creating more space between your ears and your shoulders here. And then you want to press the ear into the shoulder. You're going to feel the stretch on this side of the neck. Carrie, I bet this will feel really good. I hope I could see your smile right now. Excellent. Then turn the head over to one side, and then as you're pressing down, press the chin into the shoulder and towards the armpit almost. You're going to feel the stretch kind of move to the front of the neck into the collarbone. Just depend on how tight you are in that spot. Then let's begin to turn the chin down towards the chest. And as you're doing this, either allow the head to hang down or just shift from side to side like I'm doing. I get a little bit more of a stretch if I'm just shifting from side to side. And then I'm going to turn over to the opposite side and I'm going to press my chin down towards my opposite armpit. And then I'm going to press my ear into the shoulder once again on this opposite side. And then all the way back. And then as you're coming all the way back again, roll from side to side. We just created a circle. Reverse that circle over to the opposite side. You can take it as fast or as slow as you like. Stay in that little spot that you figured out that you have a little bit more tension in. And then come all the way back into center. Excellent. You should feel a little bit more relaxed in the neck area. You should feel a little bit more relaxed in the shoulders. Now we're going to take the two fingertips, index finger and middle finger, right into your jawline. You want to find that spot in between upper jaw and lower jaw. And in order to figure out where exactly your fingers should be, open and close the bottom of your mouth. Open, close, open, close. And that muscle that is moving underneath your fingertips, that's the muscle you want to pinpoint down. And that's the muscle you want to release a little bit of pressure off of. That's the muscle that we tend to clench when we are gripping our teeth and we're feeling tension. That's the muscle that we use to speak, that we use to open and close our mouth, to chew. So it holds a lot of tension. And that tension, whenever it's tense in the jaw, that tension relates to the lower body. It can relate to the hips, it can relate to the cervix, the pelvic floor muscles, it can relate to inner thighs, it can relate to glutes, all the muscles that we need to feel relaxed throughout birth. So I'm just pressing into it, but you can create circular movements. You can just stretch it by pressing, but dragging down or upwards or sideways. You can find whatever works for you. And you might see that it refers pain up in your eyebrows, which means that you're holding tension in your sinuses, or it might be referring pain down into the gums, which means that you're holding tension in your jaw. And then come into the sides of the neck. This is again just to release the neck muscles. So we're just stretching out here as you're pressing upwards and downwards. Very nice. And then again, we're going to just shoulder massage here, self massage here, opposite hand into opposite shoulder. So just see if you can just squeeze and release a little bit here. I'm with my fingertips, with my middle finger, and more specifically, I am pressing into some points back there that I have found. And then I'm releasing them as much as I can. And then opposite hand into opposite shoulder. Again, squeeze and release a couple times. And again, and because you cannot go and get a massage during this time, please feel free to ask your partners to just press into those muscles to release some pressure. And you'll feel a little bit of a release. If that can't happen, Epsom salt. Not hot bath, but warm bath with Epsom salt, just to kind of relax those muscles. Excellent, ladies. Let's roll the shoulders over the hips, sitting nice and tall now. Release the hands to your knees or your thighs. Close your eyes and let's just focus on the breath. So take a few deep breaths here, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Sigh it out. You can allow your sighs to feel a little audible or inaudible. Maybe they're loud, maybe they're not. But make sure you're completely letting go, especially if you are holding any heaviness surrounding the heart region, or if you're holding on to any tension, any fear, or any expectations, or any thoughts still, any feelings still. Let it go. There's none of that matters at this moment, and pretty much at every moment going forward. Until the time comes, you can't have those expectations. You can't envision how things are going to turn out, because things will just be, and the only tool that you really truly have on your side is that breath, is that calmness. So observe your breath as it enters into the body, as it fills up the belly a little bit more, as it expands the chest and your lungs, as it expands the space between your collarbones. And then as you exhale, let it out through the mouth, allowing the back of the mouth to open, allowing the tongue to float in between the teeth, and completely releasing and softening throughout your entire breath, throughout your entire body. Completely letting go. And continue with this breath. Observing the breath, and when the mind starts to wander around, wander away, notice if you can bring it back into the center line, back into this midline, back into the present moment, the only moment that really truly matters at this moment, at this time. And continue to observe the breath, entering and exiting the body. We are trying our best with the breath as our tool right this moment to engage into our parasympathetic nervous system. We are trying to calm the mind and the body down. And this is the breath that I want you to focus on when we come into those discomfort poses, when we come to those tension poses, because they're there to cause you tension in the mind and in the body. And they're there to trick you, but at the same time, train you for those contractions. So you want to come into this breath. Remember this breath. Instead of tensing up and freezing up and engaging those muscles, finding relaxation, the same relaxation that you're experiencing at this moment. In body, mind, and breath. So with our next inhale, let's bring the palms together in front of the heart. Let's press the thumbs into the middle of our chest, right into the sternum, and lift the sternum up. So you're lengthening through the back of the spine, sitting a little taller. And ladies, begin to craft an intention for your practice here today. Begin to set an intention that means something to you, that is meaningful and unique to you. It doesn't have to be about the practice. It can be about the rest of your pregnancy. It can be about your birth. It can be about the rest of your journey as a mother. It can be a mantra, a word, a sentence that will keep you strong during this time and beyond. Take a deep breath in. Let it out, setting that intention for yourself. Excellent. And then slowly, let's begin to release the hands. And let's begin to open up the eyes. I'm going to come back into my mat here. I'm going to sit on the edge of my blanket. For those of you that have your legs crossed, let's cross the opposite leg in the front so that we are evening out through the hips here. We're going to reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. And as you exhale, take a side bend over to the right. So again, I'm going to mirror you. I'm going to go to my left, but you're going to go to your right. Relax this bottom shoulder here. Try to bend into the elbow and relax the bottom shoulder away from your neck. And then reach up and over, really stretching through that left side body. Inhale back into center. And as you exhale over to the opposite side, keep pressing the sit bones into the mat and then stretch a little bit deeper each time you come to the side bend. We're going to come in for 2 more times. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. You're stretching out through the sides of the ribs here so that you create more space for you to be able to breathe. These are the side bends that I was talking to you about, Ashley, right? Yes. And then you're also creating more space in the obliques, the sides of the belly, so that you and the baby have more space. The baby can grow and move around, and you have, in general, more space so that you feel a little bit more comfortable in your own skin. Reach the hands up towards the sky with this last one, and as you exhale, just a slight twist over to the right. Not too deep here. You're using your right fingertips behind you to lengthen the spine, and exhale to twist just to create a little extra space in the spine. Reach the hands up towards the sky, and now let's twist over to the opposite side. Very nice. Inhale back to center. Now release the hands behind you. The fingertips are facing you, palms are grounded, and then press the chest up towards the sky as you look up, and then allow your head to drop all the way back and look all the way back if you can. Allow the mouth to open. You can even stick the tongue out. Allow this to feel like a throat opener in the front, and even a chest opener and a shoulder opener. Excellent. Let's come all the way back to center. Draw the knees together, shift over to one side, and let's come into all fours. Feel free to use your blanket as a cushion if you have one here, or a towel as a cushion for the kneecaps. And then as you're coming into all fours, begin to take any organic movements of the spine that feel good to you. So you can just shift the hips from side to side here, a few more side bends, maybe taking the hips all the way back to the heels and all the way forward. As you're doing this, curl the toes under and then press the hips back into the heels, adding a little bit of a stretch in the feet, especially if your feet are swollen or retaining fluids or sore here. This should feel a really intense but good stretch. Press the right glute into the left heel, a little diagonal stretch here. Opposite glute into the opposite heel. And for those mamas that are feeling tension in the bottom of the belly here as the belly is growing, a little lazy up dog. So walk the hands further away from you and then sink forward as you're pressing your chest forward. So I'm doing this one at a time. I'm pressing into my left hip first, and then I'm shifting into my right hip point down towards the floor. So I'm not creating too much of a back bend so I don't pull the round ligaments, but at the same time, I'm stretching the bottom of the belly. And then press back into your child's pose. Stretch out the low back. Open up the knees, mat distance apart, and release the head all the way down. Take a deep breath in, side out. Excellent. And now let's press back up into your table. And as you're coming into your table, walk the hands a little closer, the knees a little closer. Just make sure you're stabilized, but still have space. And then we're going to come into cat and cow. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze. As you exhale, round the spine, press the back of the spine all the way up. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze, look up. Exhale to round as much as you can. One more time. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale to round. Relax the head and tuck that tailbone in. Come back into your table. We're going to take the right foot back behind us. Keep the ball of the foot on the floor and take it over to the left side. And look over your left shoulder. The further up you can see this straight leg, the more of a side bend you're going to feel on your right side. Take a deep breath in so you're pressing both hands into the floor so you're not collapsing to those shoulders. And then take that right foot over to the left a little bit more. Press your right ribs towards the side of the room. Excellent. Let's come back to center. We're going to lift the foot off of the mat. Bend the knee to 90-degree angle and flex the foot. As you inhale, press the foot up towards the sky. And as you exhale, release the knee to the ground. Excellent. We're going to do that 4 more times. So press the foot up towards the sky. As you exhale, release the knee to the ground. Inhale to press up. Exhale. Make sure you're engaging your glute here so you're feeling that burn in the glute. Exhale to release. Inhale to press up. Exhale, release. We're doing 1 more. Inhale to press up. We're staying there to pulsate for 5. Press up, press up, press up. 2 more. Excellent. And then begin to extend back that leg. Press the floor away so you're not collapsing to the shoulders. Reach the left hand out in front of you. You can stay here, ladies, or you can bend the back knee, grab hold of the foot, and press the foot away from your sit bones, adding a little bit of a hip flexor stretch here and that bottom of the belly part to stretch a little bit. And then begin to release. We're going to open up the knees mat distance apart, shift the hips back into the heels, release into your child's pose. Feel free to bring a book or a block underneath the forehead here, maybe a pillow underneath the chest to make that a child's pose a little bit more comfortable. 2 deep breaths here. Inhale in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale, let it out. Excellent. Let's take all those props off to the side. Begin to reach the fingertips towards the top of the mat. Plant the palms, spread the fingertips wide, curl the toes, and then let's begin to lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And let's begin to pedal the feet here. You can open up the feet a little bit further apart, perhaps mat distance, so that you have more space for the belly. You can pedal the feet and bend to one knee so much so that the opposite heel almost touches the floor, and vice versa, stretching the back of the calves, the back of the knees, the hamstrings. Press the chest towards your thighs, relax the head so the neck is nice and long, and then press the tailbone up towards the sky, but hug the baby a little closer to you so you're not collapsing into your low back. Very nice. As you inhale, shift forward into your plank. And as you exhale, drop your right knee to the floor, right below your right hip. So make sure that you walk it in forward a little bit if you need to. Right shoulder is right over the right wrist. And then let's begin to open up into side plank. So I'm stacking my left hip on top of my right, and the left foot is grounded here. Now, if you feel balanced and if you feel stable, then you can lift the left foot off the ground, but energize that left leg and flex the foot. Reach the left fingertips up towards the sky, lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, let's take that left hand up and over the side of the head. Press the ribs out, taking a side bend. And then let's come back into table, back into all fours. 1 more cat and cow here. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, round the spine, press the back of the spine all the way up. As you come back into your table, let's grab our blocks or books, whatever you can grab so that you have a little bit more leverage here, a little bit support. And you're going to come into your table taking the right foot through. So as you come into your low lunge, low crescent lunge here, you want to make sure you're grabbing hold of your hips and drawing that right hip down so your hips are squared off. And then begin to straighten out that right leg. And flex the foot, point the toes up towards the sky. Excellent, ladies. Inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, lean forward, press the chest towards your toes, and then release the hands to wherever you have so that you're able to stabilize yourselves here. Very nice, excellent. Now, you want to keep pointing the toes up towards the sky, and you want to keep tilting the tailbone towards the back. If that's making the spine round, make sure you're micro bending into the right knee just a tiny bit so that you're able to tilt the tailbone back and press the chest forward. It's all about creating space here in the back of the legs to create more space in the pelvis and surrounding the pelvis. So as we're here, let's try a little bit of pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, tuck in and round, tuck the chin into the chest and round the spine. As you exhale, press the tailbone out and back and press the chest forward. 2 more. Inhale to tuck in and round the spine, round as much as you can. Exhale to press the tailbone out and press the chest forward. Feel that stretch in the back of the leg. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. Now let's begin to bring that right foot back in, right below the right knee. Reach the hands up towards the sky. And as you exhale, pull the elbows down and back as you reach the heart up towards the sky. Very nice. Inhale. Reach all the way up. Exhale to pull down. Imagine you're pulling down a bunch of weights. So really energize through the arms. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to pull down. Inhale to reach up. Grab hold of the left wrist and take a side bend over to the right. Relax the shoulders here. Lengthen through both sides of the body. And side bend a little deeper. Let's come back to center. Release the hands out to a T. And let's take a twist over to the left. So left hand back and right hand forward. Open twist here. Lengthen. And as you exhale, twist a little bit more. Let's come back to center. Release the hands to the floor, or to those blocks or books, and then we'll come back into all fours. We're going to set up for our first discomfort pose. So I'm going to bring my timer. And the first one is with those toes. So we're going to curl the toes under, and then we're going to shift the hips back as we're stacking our shoulders right on top of the hips, right on top of the heels. So in order to feel this tensing and feel the discomfort, you want to curl your toes under. I encourage you to stay with me for the whole time, if you can, if not less. And I encourage you to go back to that breathing that we did in the beginning. So this is our first discomfort pose of 4 that are to come. You want to make sure that you're breathing throughout the whole entire time. You want to make sure that wherever you're feeling tension, that you release it and you relax it, you soften it. And again, make the mind stop the chatter. Make the mind stop the drama that it tends to create. The mind loves uncertainty, loves fear, loves drama. Take deep breaths in and let all of that go out through your exhales. Feel free to move your arms to relax the shoulders. Feel free to create circles with the bottom of your mouth so you relax the jaw. Feel free to close your eyes to relax the eyebrows. Don't focus on the tension in the feet, on the toes. Focus on your breath. One more deep breath in and sigh it out with a loud sigh, completely letting go. And then slowly let's come out of it. Let's begin to uncurl the toes and tap the tops of the feet on the floor to counteract that movement, just to kind of give the toes a little bit of release here. Excellent. As we're back into all fours, we're going to start with cat and cow once again. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze. As you exhale, round the spine, press the back of the spine all the way up. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze, look up. Exhale to round, round, round as much as you can. One more. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, come back into your table. We're going to take that left foot back behind us. Ball of the foot is still on the floor. We're going to take it over to the right side. Look over your right shoulder. The further up you can see that straight leg, the more of a side bend you're going to feel. But try not to collapse into the shoulders. So press the floor away from you to lengthen and lift the chest away from the floor. And then see if you can take that left foot further to the right. Excellent. Let's bring it back into center. Let's bend the knee, 90-degree angle, and flex the foot. Let's press the foot up towards the sky, engage the glute, and then release the knee to the ground as you exhale. 4 more times. Inhale to press up and release. Inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. Last one like this. Exhale to release. And now one more and pulsate for 5. So press up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then begin to extend back. All 5 toes are pointing towards the ground. Reach your right hand away from you, forward. You can stay here, or you can bend the back knee, grab hold of the foot, and press the foot away from you. Lengthen the spine as much as you can. Keep pressing the foot away, and then slowly begin to release. Open up the knees, mat distance apart. One more child's pose to relax. Feel free to add props that are making this child's pose a little bit more comfortable. Release the head all the way down. Release the chest all the way down. 2 deep breaths. Inhale. Let it out. Inhale. Exhale. Now you can release the props off to the side. Reach the fingertips towards the top of the mat. Plant the palms. Spread the fingertips wide. Curl the toes, and let's begin to lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog once again. Feel free to open up the feet mat distance apart. Once again, creating more space. Feel free to find movement or stillness here, whatever feels natural to you. But you want to relax the head so the neck is nice and long. You want to hug the belly close so that you are not back bending through the low back and creating tension in the low back. And you want to relax the shoulders as you're pressing the floor away. Let's take one more deep breath in. Press the heels into the ground. As you inhale, shift forward into your plank. And as you exhale, drop your left knee to the ground, right below your left hip. Let's begin to stabilize our left shoulder right on top of the left wrist. And then let's open up. Right hip on top of left, side plank. For now, let's have the right foot planted, fully planted on the ground. Otherwise, if you feel stable enough, and if you did so on the opposite side, let's lift it off the ground, energizing that right leg and flexing the foot. Reach away, lengthen through the right fingertips. And as you exhale, take the hand up and over the side of the head, press the ribs up. Let's come back into table, back into all fours. Just one cat and cow here to restabilize that spine. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to round. Excellent. We'll come back into center. Grab those props again, books, blocks, whatever you might have. And then we're going to bring that left foot through. You want to make sure you're grabbing your hips and drawing that left hip down. And then begin to straighten out that left leg. Point the toes up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, lean forward and plant the hands to wherever prop keeps you steady so that you don't lose that space and that you don't collapse the belly into the thigh and you don't round your spine, your upper back. So press the chest forward towards me or towards your toes. Keep pointing your left toes up towards the sky. Lengthen, and as you exhale, fold a little deeper. Let's start with those pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, you can round as much as you can. Tuck the tailbone in, tuck the chin into the chest. As you exhale, feel that stretch in the back of the left leg. Press the chest forward and stick your tailbone out and back. Inhale to round. Use your breath, use your exhale to let go of any tension in the back of that knee as you find that stretch once again. Last one, inhale to round. Exhale. Very nice. Then slowly let's begin to bend that front knee, plant the foot right below the front knee, reach the hands up towards the sky. As you exhale, pull the elbows down and back, lift the chest. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, pull down and back. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, pull down and back. Reach the hands up towards the sky, grab hold of your right wrist and take a side bend over to the left. Relax the shoulders. Lengthen through both sides of the body. Side bend a little deeper. Come back to center. Release the hands into a T and let's open up into a twist on the right side. Left hand comes forward, right hand to the back. Lengthen. Exhale to twist a little more. Let's come back to center. Release the hands to your blocks or your books or the floor, and then let's find last child's pose here. Opening up the knees, mat distance apart, shifting the hips back, release all the way down. Excellent. 3 full breaths here. You can close your eyes, relax your shoulders, inhale in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. Inhale, side out. Last one, deep breath in. Exhale it out. Very nice. This time we're going to begin to walk the hands towards us. We're going to come into our second discomfort pose. This is a squat. Caroline, if baby is facing down, yes? Thumbs up? Excellent. So you're going to come into a lower squat because now you're working with gravity. Whereas the rest of us, we're going to come into a higher squat because we're still working on intensifying the quads and making sure that we're strengthening the quads. So I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to do. You're going to open up the feet mat distance apart. Caroline, you're going to come to this low squat right here. If this is too low for you and the belly is kind of getting cramped, you can always sit on a block, but basically you want to work with gravity. And for the rest of us, we're going to come a little higher, about 90-degree angle for the knees. Don't worry, when you're getting closer to 35 weeks, you're also come to a lower squat. And we'll place our forearms to our thighs. And we're going to move from side to side a little bit. So that way we're not freezing up and we're not staying steady and really feeling that tension rise and build up. And therefore we're tensing in the rest of the body that instead of just tensing in the quads or the thighs that we're feeling this. So make sure as you're shifting from side to side with me, make sure that you're picking up your feet and that you're relaxing your toes, that you're relaxing the feet as you're picking up the feet off of the mat. Make sure you roll your wrists so that you're relaxing your fingertips. Allow the head to shake yes or no. Relax your shoulders. You can roll them back or you can just shift them from side to side. Again, focus on that mantra, that word, that sentence that keeps you strong throughout this whole thing, especially if the tension is kind of starting to get to you. Focus on your breath and particularly focus on those exhales. Completely let it go, sigh it out, let it be loud, let it go of any frustration, don't hold it in. Sit a little lower. And let's come all the way up. Whew. Excellent. As you are, just walk the feet a little closer and just shake the thighs a little bit to release that tension that we just built up. Excellent, ladies. Let's find a relaxation pose after our discomfort pose. So I'm going to start with my L shape so that I can stretch the hamstrings and stretch the calves and therefore give a little bit space in the low back. Find a wall or a surface that you can place the hands on. You can use your blanket too if you like. Your blanket, what happens with the blanket is that it gives a little bit more length in the hamstring. So you can fold it a couple times and make it thick. You can place it away from the wall, away from that surface that you're going to lean on. Place the balls of the feet on the blanket, heels off the blanket, and then reach for that surface as you're tilting your tailbone out and back and pressing your chest towards the floor. So you're coming into an L shape here. It's not the best stretch for the upper back because sometimes we tend to collapse into our chest, but you want to feel this in your in the back of the legs, and then tilting the tailbone out and back, you're going to feel it all the way in the sit bones almost. So I don't recommend staying here for too long, just enough to feel that little extra stretch in the back of the legs. And usually it takes a few breaths and you can come out of it whenever you start to feel that tension built up in the upper back. Please make sure you're hydrating during this time, during your relaxation poses. And then we're going to come back to our mat. Use any blocks or props that you might have. We're going to start with our standing flow. So place your books or blocks at the top of the mat. And we're going to bring the right foot forward, left foot in the back, coming into your warrior 1 foot pattern. Excellent. So no worries about the hips facing extremely forward here, but you want to make sure that the shoulders are facing forward. So you still feel that little bit of rotation right in this left hip flexor and that stretch in the left side of the belly. Bend into the front knee right on top of the front ankle. And do me a favor, press that back thigh towards the back wall. So you're engaging through your inner thighs here and you're strengthening through your pelvic floor muscles. When you're ready, reach the hands up towards the sky and relax the shoulders. Now, as you inhale, you're going to straighten out the front leg, but not lock into the front knee, reach up. And as you exhale, pull the elbows down and back and bend into the front knee. Reach the hands up towards the sky, straighten through the front leg. Exhale to pull down and bend to the front knee. You're going to try this 3 more times with me. But really pull those arms down as if you're pulling a bunch of weight. So I'm really energizing through arms and legs here. And I'm feeling this even though I got nothing on my hands. 1 more time. Exhale to pull down and back, and then release the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and press the knuckles down the back leg. And then add a few stretches of the neck, just like we did in the beginning during our warm-up, right before centering. Circle the head all the way around to release any tension in the base of the neck and the base of the shoulders rather. And then shake it off. Relax the hands to your hips, straighten out the front leg, and pivot the back foot in a little bit. So you want now the hips to be facing forward. So maybe that means that you open your stance a little bit, meaning the right foot comes towards the right edge of the mat and the left foot towards the left edge of the mat. Hips are facing forward, shoulders are facing forward, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, lean forward and come halfway down. And then release the hands to those blocks, to those books, to something that you can hold on to. Try not to go towards the floor. Try to release somewhere. So now you're going to be feeling this in the back of the right knee quite a lot. If you're rounding your spine, make sure that you micro-bend that front knee just a tiny bit so that you tilt your tailbone back. But if the spine is nice and long, you can straighten out the leg, the right leg, without locking into the knee. And then relax the shoulders as you press your chest forward and tilt the tailbone back. Breathe into that stretch. Breathe into the back of the right knee. Lengthen the spine. And now as you exhale, bend into the elbows and see if you can fold a little deeper. To come out of it, ladies, begin to bend into the front knee. Come all the way back up into your short warrior 1. Inhale. And as you exhale, let's open up warrior 2. So the back foot opens to be parallel to the back of the mat. Back leg is straight, front knee is still bending right on top of the front knee. And reach the hands out away from you. Now from here, we're going to take the hands as they are in a T. We're going to take the right arm in front of us, left arm right on top of it. We're going to wiggle around, wrap around, and come into eagle arms. And if this is too much to wrap around into the palms, then you can just stack elbow on top of elbow and just grab on opposite shoulder instead. If you've come with me into eagle arms and wrap around into your palms, lift the elbows to shoulder height and take the forearms away from your face, so creating a little bit extra space. Make sure that front knee is tracking right on top of the front ankle. Very nice. You're going to feel this in your inner thighs, and that's good. We're strengthening through the pelvic floor muscles. Reach the fingertips up and back, lengthen. And as you exhale, fold forward by keeping the knees as they are and the legs as they are. Reach the hands all the way up and back, finding that little bit of a back bend. And as you exhale, fold forward. We got 1 more. Inhale all the way up and back. Exhale to fold forward. Release the hands out to a T, once again coming into that warrior 2. Now let's begin to straighten out that front leg. Try not to lock into the front knee. Shift the hips back. Reach forward with your right fingertips as much as you can. Keep reaching. And then drop the right hand to a block, to a book, whatever you can find, or on your shin if you like. And then reach the left fingertips up towards the sky for triangle. Try to create as much space that you have in your left side. Try to create the same space for your right side. Don't allow that right side to rest on your right thigh. Lengthen the spine. Exhale to twist a little bit more. And then slowly let's begin to come back into center. Back and all the way up into your warrior 2. Release the hands to your hips. Let's turn the feet parallel to each other. If you're feeling lower back pain or the SI joint feels tension today, you can always bring your toes in, heels out. That's creating a little internal rotation in the hips, and the sit bones are coming further away from each other here. Lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, come halfway down if you're feeling dizzy, or if you're feeling too much blood rushing to your head, or all the way down. You can relax the crown of the head towards the floor. It really depends on how and where you feel comfortable. As you inhale, come halfway up here, lengthen. As you exhale, you can fold a little bit more depending on where you are. Not too much if you're feeling dizzy. Again, inhale, lengthen, and exhale to fold. Keep tilting the tailbone back. Inhale, exhale to fold. Very nice. Now come halfway up, so you're pressing the right hand into the floor. Press the floor away so you're not collapsing into that right shoulder. Left hand comes all the way up towards the sky. Feel free to place a book or a block underneath that right hand so you have a little bit extra space. Sacrum stays right where it is, but you're taking your twist a little deeper. Excellent. Let's take the left hand right in front of you. Press the floor away. Again, you're not collapsing into that left shoulder. Right hand comes up towards the sky. So sacrum stays as it is, so you're not shifting the sacrum all the way towards that right side. You're just taking the twist from the torso all the way to the right side. Very nice. And then release. We're going to toe heel the feet back in. We're going to come into our third discomfort pose. So the third one is a chair pose. So as you're coming inwards, you're going to bring the feet a little closer to each other. I'm going to show this sideways. I'm shifting my hips, my bum towards the back, and I'm pressing my chest forward. And I'm adding the hands. So I'm taking the hands all the way, the arms straight up towards the sky, the fingertips reaching towards the sky. Now again, I'm moving from side to side here because I don't want to freeze up. I don't want to start tensing up and have my muscles be holding more tension than necessary. I highly recommend that when you come to those contractions, that you find movement during those contractions. Find positions that you can still move, rocking forward and back, rocking side to side, whatever. I'm not asking you to come to these squats, obviously, but you're getting the sensation of how to find some movement, some comfort for the body to feel a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of release, a little softness. Relax the shoulders, ladies. Allow the head to create circles so that you're not tensing up through the shoulders or the neck. Roll the wrists, pick up the feet off the ground. Allow the hips to kind of roll from side to side as if you're dancing to music here. Soften your joints, soften your muscles. Sit a little lower. Take a deep breath in and sit a little lower. Let it go out through the mouth. One more time, sit a little lower. And let's come all the way up. Excellent. Shake it off. You can, again, make sure that you're shaking your thighs here to release any tension. We're going to come in for another relaxation pose. So for those of you with lower back pain, feel free to go back into that L shape to create a little extra space for the pelvis and the lower back. If you're starting to have sciatica or hip pain, this figure 4 is excellent for that. So you can grab again to that surface or that wall, whatever you have nearby. Externally rotate your right knee. You're going to bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. As you bend your left knee, stick your bum out and back and press your chest forward. You're going to feel this right into the center of that right glute or left side, whichever one you're doing. You're going to feel it in the center of the glute. And the more you stick your bum out and back, and the more you press your chest forward, the more you're going to feel this. I know I might be repeating myself, but just one note. If the weight of your body is towards the heel, which means that you're kind of shifting backwards, you won't feel this as much. So just make sure that your weight is kind of forward, and then you're sticking your bum, your tailbone out and back, pressing your chest forward. You're going to feel that a little deeper. And of course, one side is more tense than the other. So make sure that you are staying in the tighter side a little longer to just kind of even out the sides. I highly recommend both of these stretches, the L shape that we did before and this one, especially if you're working on the computer all day, especially if you're sitting all day, I highly recommend these throughout the day. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying like, every 2 hours do the L shape. Then another 2 hours do the figure four. And then we have a couple more coming. So you can just kind of find different ones. And this goes all throughout, even through labor. These are stretches that you can continue to do to create more space in your body, to keep things flowing and moving along. Remember, it's all about blood flow. It's all about movement. If you're static, everything is static, remains as is. Please grab some water. And then as you're finishing up, we're going to come back to our mat for the opposite side of our standing flow. So grab those props, whatever you might have, place them at the top of your mat. You can take the blanket off the mat. And then we're going to have the left foot forward, right foot in the back, coming into your warrior 1 foot pattern. So make sure you're bending into the front knee right on top of the front ankle. And engage that back leg. So you want to press the back thigh towards the back of the room as if you're pressing somebody away from you. That will energize the feet and it will energize through the inner thighs. Therefore, you're strengthening through the pelvic floor muscles. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Inhale and relax the shoulders as you exhale. Now reach the hands all the way up, straighten the front leg. And as you exhale, pull those elbows down and back and bend into the front knee. 4 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to pull down and back. You want to really energize both arms and legs here. Breathe it out. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Take the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Press the knuckles down the back leg. Add a few stretches of the neck here. Circle the head all the way around to release. Excellent. Release the hands to your hips. Straighten out the front leg and pivot the back foot in a little bit to close your stance. Now, you might want to open your stance too, meaning taking the left foot towards the left outer edge of the mat and the right foot towards the right edge of the mat so that your hips are squared off. Lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, come halfway down and then release the hands to wherever surface you're able to, whatever block or bulk, whatever you're able to. Now again, if this side feels tight and you're rounding your spine, your upper back just to get there, make sure that you are micro bending. Just create a little bend in the front knee and then see if you can tilt your tailbone back and press your chest forward and down. If that's not the case, you can find a nice long straight leg in the left side. And then again, tilt your tailbone back, press the chest forward, have the crown of the head nice and long here so the back of the neck is long. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale to fold. Now slowly let's begin to bend into the front knee. Come all the way back up, warrior 1, short warrior 1. And then as you exhale, let's open up warrior 2. So the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. You're still tracing that front knee right on top of the front ankle. Legs are nice and strong. You have your arms out into a T. Your left arm comes in front of you. Right arm comes on top. Wrap around into eagle arms or just stack elbow on top of elbow and just grab on the opposite shoulder instead. Now let's lift the elbows to shoulder height and take the forearms away from your face. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky and back. And as you exhale, round, but keeping the legs strong as they are. You're going to feel this in your inner thighs, and that's the point. Inhale to reach all the way up and back. Exhale to round. One more after this one. Inhale to reach all the way up and back. Exhale to round. Come back into center, unwind the arms, coming back into your T in your warrior 2. Straighten out the front leg. Shift the hips towards the back, reach forward as much as you can, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, and then come down into your triangle. Left hand on a block or a prop and right fingertips up towards the sky. Press the chest towards the wall you're facing, lengthen, and as you exhale, turn the torso a little bit more towards that wall. Excellent, ladies. Let's soften into that left knee a little bit so that we can come all the way back up into your warrior two. Release the hands to your hips, turn feet parallel to each other or toes in, heels out, whatever feels natural to you. And then come halfway or all the way down. This time, you can find a little inner thigh stretch and a hamstring stretch. So without bending the knees, try to see if you can shift the hips from side to side. We're creating space again in the pelvis, but the muscles surrounding the pelvis rather. But this time we're creating space in the bottom of the pelvis and the inside, the inner thighs. So see how you can shift your hips from side to side, see where the tightness is, see if you can work it through with your breath and see if you can create a little extra space there. Now, after you've done that a couple of times, let's bend into the right knee, bend into the left knee, and keep the opposite leg straight as you're shifting from side to side. Keep the feet grounded for now. After you've done that a couple of times, then you can add the feet, flex the foot of the straight leg. Notice how the stretch moves down the leg into the inner thigh and hamstring. And then let's come back into center. We can toe heel the feet back in, round the spine, bend the knees, and come all the way up. Shake it off. Excellent, ladies. We're going to come in for our last discomfort pose. This time it's going to be a wall squat. So find a wall this time. Another surface won't work, so a wall is the only way to really do this. So I'm going to, again, try to open my curtains here and come to my wall behind me. I'm going to grab a block. If you have a block with you, feel free to place in between the knees. If you have a book, it might be too heavy, so maybe not. Place your back into the wall. Walk the feet out so that you are 90-degree angle so that the ankles are right underneath the knees. I forgot my timer, sorry, hold on. And come and sit nice and low. It's okay if we hold it a little bit more. Very nice. Squeeze into the inner thighs. Again, only squeezing through the inner thighs really helps the pelvic floor strengthen. Relax the shoulders. Of course, here we can't do much movement, so we can just maybe swing the arms. We can do some horse flips to relax the jaw. Take a deep breath in. The kitty cat is looking at me like I'm crazy. Continue with your horse flips. Excellent. And it's always good to express noise. It's always good to vocalize your discomfort and let it go through the vocal cords to relax the vocal cords. So join me for an om if you like, or just hum at the back of your throat if you like. Take a deep breath in. Oh. One more deep breath in, side out completely. And then slowly, let's come on up, ladies. Excellent. Begin to release. You can shake it off. And let's find another relaxation pose. Maybe the L shape, maybe the figure four. And have another one for you, that same pose that we did in all fours on the floor. But now this time standing, you can hold onto something to be stabilized. You can bend the knee and grab hold of the foot and press the foot away from your sit bone. You only feel this in your hip flexor if you press the foot away. Not too much deep of a back bend here. You can see me, or my shadow rather, in the frame. You can see that I'm not really back bending here. I'm just pressing the foot away. Try that on the opposite side. For the upper body, a really good one, and this could be used also for postpartum, is to bring your arm parallel to the floor and right up against the wall, and then press the wall away from you so you're stretching out the chest, especially if you're rounding your upper back a lot. Carrie, I think this will be very beneficial for you as well. I know that you're feeling your pain in your shoulders, but a lot of times it's because we're rounding and we're shortening the front muscles. And so if we just open the front muscles, then it would create more space in the back as well. The postpartum one is diagonal stretch. If you take your fingertips towards the upper corner of the room and then press away, you'll feel this underneath your armpit. This is where the lactation ducts are located. So this is extremely beneficial when you're lactating and breastfeeding. Try it over to the other side. For those of you that are starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable with the weight, but also the size of the belly and also just kind of running out of space, the only way to really create more space is through the size of the size of the body. So I'm gonna have to do this sideways, but I'm basically pressing my hand into the wall and pressing away. So my right hand, or my left hand rather, is straight, pressing the wall away. My outer foot, the one that is not closest to the wall, comes behind me like a curtsy, and I'm bending both knees here. I'm shifting my hips away from the wall and taking my right arm up and over towards the wall. Maybe I touch the wall, maybe I don't, but I feel this extreme side bend all the way on my right side. Emily, take that back foot to the inside, rather. There you go, excellent. Then press the hips all the way towards the opposite side, away from the wall, and then reach towards the wall with that right hand. Excellent, very nice. You guys can try that on the opposite side. Excellent, ladies. As you're finishing up, we'll come back to our mats and we'll take a comfortable seat. Feel free to sit on the edge of your blanket or your towel. You can bring the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. And we're going to come for our pelvic floor exercises here. So for those of you that are familiar with your pelvic floor exercises, feel free to close your eyes and just go straight into your breathing, straight into your exercises. For those of you still working, I'm going to try as best as I can to use the description that resonates best with you. So we're just basically doing Kegels. However, we're not doing the fast and pulsating and engaging type of Kegels that are tensing and strengthening or even tightening those muscles in the base of our pelvis. We'd rather feel these stretches more like a stretching and more like a mindful stretching, sinking in with our breath. So it's a little counterintuitive because with our inhale, we are actually stretching the muscles, and with our exhale, we're actually engaging the muscles. But just bear with me. So as we inhale, we feel our belly expand, we feel our chest and our ribs expand and our lungs expand. The same thing is happening to the pelvic floor muscles when we breathe into our fullest and deepest capacity. We feel a little extra space being created at the base and the front of our pelvis as you completely inhale all the way in as much as you can, where you feel like you have no more space to give. And then as you exhale to completely empty the tank, basically, the torso completely softening. And as you pull your belly in to release that itty bitty air left, the pelvic floor muscles pull up and in, and that's when they engage at the base and at the end of your exhale. Feel free to hold them in for a count or two, and then continue with your inhale again. As you inhale, those muscles stretch and expand. And then as you exhale, you pull them in. If all else fails and you still try, you're struggling still to understand exactly what's happening, if you just breathe to your deepest capacity in and completely exhale, you are completely releasing and engaging those muscles. And the more often you do it, the more practice you put into this, then you'll understand what's happening and you'll have more control. You'll be more mindful of how to control these muscles yourself instead of having it just be automatic. When you are doing these exercises on your own and you're practicing on your own, make sure that you're not super engaging the glutes. Allow the glutes to feel rested here. Allow the bum to just relax here. It's not about engaging the glutes, it's about identifying our pelvic floor muscles, understanding where those muscles are, and understanding of how we can control it for labor, for birth, and specifically for postpartum. With your next exhale, ladies, for one more count, and then you can begin to release. We're going to come for our Shavasana, our final relaxation pose. So feel free to come off the screen if you like with legs up the wall. Not you, Caroline, because baby is facing down. It's considered an inversion. But if you like legs up the wall, please make sure that you bring a pillow or a couple blankets underneath the hips. If you like that reclining position, you can bring a couple pillows. Emily, I like how you're stacking. So imagine those pillows were stacked and you can come into a reclining position. Unless you have blocks, you can bring the blocks into an L shape, just like we do in class. And then the pillows on top to have that reclining position. Otherwise, you can lay down on your left or your right side. It doesn't matter. And I think we've done this in previous classes where I showed you how to hike up the top leg and keep the bottom leg straight. This will relieve some of the pressure on your hips. So keep the bottom leg straight and hike up the top leg, making sure that the knee is the same level with your ankle, and then release. And maybe shifting the weight forward just a tiny bit so that you are on just the side of the belly, not the front of the belly. Close your eyes, rest the hands on your belly or off to the side, palms facing up. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out, completely letting go. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. You can begin to wiggle fingers and toes, roll wrists and ankles. Stretch the hands behind you, stretch the feet away from you. Slowly, slowly begin and lazily begin to press the hands into the floor and come up into a comfortable seat. Keep your eyes closed as you're coming up. Roll your shoulders over your hips, sitting nice and tall. Just take a moment to notice here what feels different, what looks different, what in general, how you're breathing, how you're thinking, and how your body feels. What adjustments have taken place? Take a moment to reconnect to that mantra, that intention that you set at the beginning. Maybe after practice, you feel more inspired to set a new one, a different one, a more suitable one for you. Then take the hands to heart center. Let's press those thumbs into the sternum, right into the center of your chest once again. Lift the chest, lift the sternum up. Grow a couple inches taller. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out with a sigh. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your practice with me tonight. Namaste. Thank you so much.